Hi, and welcome to another edition of SIGG'S on the Springford 8th Grade Center on Demand Network, where it's all academic all the time. This edition of SIGG'S on is going to allow parents and students, you guys out there, to really get an idea of how we're going to start the school year. Because again, it's our hope that, and our goal is to make sure that your child has the best possible school year. We want to make sure your child learns well. We want to make sure your child's prepared. We want to make sure they're ready for high school. So once again, we had great viewership on the last video, and we think that really helped out a lot. And so, we're going to make another video right now. And we're going to talk a little bit about what you can expect in regards to the start of the school year. Okay, we're going to give you guys a little bit of information piece by piece so it's easily digestible. And we hope you find this helpful. Again, our goal is to make sure your child is ready to go and is ready to learn, and we're doing our best to ensure that we make the best out of this unorthodox situation. All right, so with that being said, once again, Dr. Reinheimer, welcome back to the SIGG'S On show. Good to have you back again.
Thank you.
And Dr. Siggins, glad to see you there. How you doing?
Great, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. Dr. Siggins, would you like to begin to discuss, what we can expect, in that first week of school?
Sure. As is always the case with the first week of school, that is, I think everybody understands how important that time is, okay? And while last year, as we concluded from March till June, we had some sort of an experience with virtual learning, okay? The type of virtual learning that we're going to be involved with to start the school year out is much different. Okay, and we're going to explain to you why that is. And so as you get prepared for September 8th, there are some things that you all need to be doing right now in advance of that date. The email that you received today that you'll be viewing our video, there was one from Dr. Good and there was one from Dr. Murray about how to access Canvas and get in and log on. That's something that you're going to want to make sure you know. And then there's that student Canvas, like a tutorial type of video. Obviously, you're going to want your child to go ahead and simply play around with that. Now, they won't be able to access any teacher content until that's officially turned on September 8th, but they'll be able to get an opportunity to, explore with Canvas and kind of get a sense. And that's what we're doing right now, right? That's what we're all doing as we're learning how to deal with Canvas. Okay, so before school starts, and you've received these videos, you might want to take some time and explore that. One of the other things you might want to make sure that you do is identify the workspace that your child's going to be completing their schoolwork from during the course of the day. Okay, I have 2 kids in my house. These guys have kids too. We're having that conversation this weekend about who's doing what where, okay, because they're both different. But the issue is it's going to have to get done, and probably a problem for them will be that the parents are going to be working and we're not going to be home, so we're going to have to trust that they're going to do their job at home. So we have to make sure that we identify where and how that's going to take place. Now at Springford, it's going to be a little bit different because we're actually going to be following our regular daily schedule. We're going to talk about that again. So there is going to be a significant amount of structure that students did not really experience last year that they're going to be required to experience now, starting September 8th. Okay.
So Dr. Siggins, real quick, just to piggyback off that, me being the science teacher, I'm planning on teaching my 5 classes, the 45 minutes, and there's going to be live instruction. So the kids this is going to be a much different experience than what we saw in the spring, where it was recorded and you get what you need whenever you want it.
That is correct.
Good.
We're going to talk a little bit more about that later, but it is going to be different, and there is that live instruction component that people and I get it, people wanted to see that, and I thought that was important that we provide it. But it's going to be a full day for our students. Okay. The other thing that students and families might want to make sure they do prior to the start of school is we as the building are distributing certain materials, textbooks, packets, so forth. Okay, and you have received a video prior to that with some instructions. So hopefully you're doing that, and you want to make sure you have your child's materials before school. If you couldn't get it for whatever reason, we're obviously in the building every day. So please make sure you stop by and pick up their materials. You will see it as you get into that, first couple days of school, your teachers will be providing you with an introductory video. In that introductory video, they're going to talk about behavioral expectations and homework and tests and grading and attendance. They're also going to talk to you about student supplies, right? And I talked with our teachers too and said, I don't need people going out and going crazy on student supplies when they're working from home, okay? So you'll have that information that you might want to take care of. And then what I would suggest that everybody do prior to the start of school is take a look at the bell schedule. And Mr. Parsi, if you would just
absolutely. Yes, bell schedule is going to work out really well. I like how it's set up. Okay, can you see that?
Yep, can see it right now.
Okay.
All right, so one of the things that happens when you get to secondary level, okay, is, and we have as many students as we do in the building, we have a series of lunches. Some schools have 3, some have 4, okay? In 8th grade, we have four lunches. Those 4 different lunches cause our schedule to get a little confusing in between periods after second period through 5th period, okay? And when parents on our initial video, Mr. Parcia and Dr. Reiner, when they saw that, there were some parents who are like, oh my word, that's a little confusing for me, okay? And so I thought about that, and what I thought we could do is this. While we are at home virtually, okay, it doesn't matter. We know we can't fix 650 students and 80 some staff members into the cafeteria at one time. But we're not here in 8th grade at the building. We're at home. So why don't we all have the same schedule while we're at home? Okay. And so what that does to me, it's going to allow our teachers to be able to really support our students. So after every class period, our teachers could say to their students, hey, look at everybody. Right now, we're wrapping up period 2. It is day 3 of the 6-day cycle. Make sure you know where you're going next period, and make sure you log into your, your 3rd period class at 10, whatever time it says right there, 10:23, so that everybody hears the same thing.
Can I just interrupt because I'm going to play devil's advocate? So real quick, I'm going to clarify because some people are going to think this, and it's okay. When you say period 1, everybody has the same schedule. No, if you have math period 1, you go to math. If you have Spanish, you follow your own schedule.
Correct.
Right? So not everybody's going to have math period 1. I just want to make sure that's clear to the parents who might, okay, so yeah.
Yes, students have the copy of their schedule in front of them. The issue is that students' lunch periods dictate the time of when they're supposed to be in classes. And I'll be honest with you, it'll be confusing for a teacher sitting there virtually with 25 kids in their class, not because they won't know what lunch period they're going to. And they won't be able to see their schedule to figure that out for them, okay? So to avoid that confusion for our students, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it easy this way. So everybody is following the same one while we are not in the building. Once that decision is made that we're going to be returning, when that decision occurs, then what we'll do is, we'll be assigning students, the lunch period that they're supposed to have when they come back. Because we just can't fit 650 kids in a cafeteria one time. I think most people understand that. So that's why we have 4 lunches, okay? So basically what ends up happening on that first day of school, as you're getting ready for that first day of school, you need to look. And as I'm looking at this, it says 8:47 to 9:31's first period. That means I need to log into Canvas at 8:45, and I'm going to be looking for my Zoom link to go into my first period class, whatever that first period class is. Okay? When I see that Zoom link in my first period class, bingo. I jump in there, and I get to get an opportunity to interface with my teacher and my classmates for that period of time. Now, is it going to be 42 minutes of teacher-led instruction? Well, probably not, but there's going to be maybe 30 minutes of conversation. Then there's going to be some practice of some things, and then people can go work on an assignment in Canvas. But the good thing is the teacher will be able to say to them, look, make sure when you leave here that you have to log into your second period class at 9:35. Okay, and everybody's saying the same thing. All the teachers will be telling the kids where to go next. Okay, so you want to take a second and look at that. And guess what? We're expecting you to be and logging into all your classes that you have. So it's a full day.
And we don't want to see you late, because as a teacher, we have to admit kids into the classroom. Once the time starts at, we'll say 9:35 for period 2, and I'm starting to interact with my students, it's not going to be fun for me to admit kids at 9:37. They will be held accountable for that, within a day or two. I mean, we have to be a little flexible first. We get used to it, but they have to be in that class on time, because instruction is going to be key. We really got to do our best to teach them as best we can. We don't need interruptions.
Right. And basically the way that we have to look at this is the following. What happens if I'm not at school? If I miss the class or I'm not at school, what do I do? What happens if I'm sick? Or what happens if we're going on a trip? Or what happens if there's, unfortunately a death in the family? What do I do? Well, what would you do if you were in the building? Right? The same procedures would apply. Like if you're going to miss a full day of school, then you need a note from your parent. And they can call in the absentee line, right? And they can do those things. If you miss a period because you got an orthodontist appointment or something along those lines, you got to let the teacher know, right? But you're expected to be in these classes during these times, and appropriate communication is going to be required. To me, the way we're looking at this is the rules that we had when we were here in the building are the same rules that we have right now, and everybody's got to cooperate with those particular rules. Okay. Now, if you look at the top of the sheet for that schedule, it says 8 to 8:30. Basically, what that means is this: instead of a homeroom, if a student's having a problem in a class and they would like to get some extra help from a teacher, then what they need to do is communicate with that teacher, a day in advance and say, look, I'm having some problems with the homework. Could you help me out? And the teacher say, yeah, sure. I'll have a link that, we can go ahead and work on that together between 8 and 8:30, tomorrow. So that's what we call office hours. But the student has to set that up with the teacher. Okay. We want to kind of begin to encourage those types of behaviors with the student taking, some ownership over their education moving forward. Okay.
And I'm going to, from a teacher's perspective, this is new for us. And again, we want to make sure your child's learning. So with this new medium, it's easier at this point. We're used to being able to decipher if kids can learn well when we're face to face in the classroom. So, we got to really work as a team between, the teachers and the families. If a child is struggling, please shoot us an email and we can arrange something. We want to see the kids learn as well as they normally do. And if there's something that they need help with, the quicker you let us know, the better. We're there to help. We want to do our best too, so.
Exactly. Okay, so basically what happens is prior to the start of the school year, you need to work your way through all those, preparations, look at the schedule, understand that, look, I'm really expected to be, engaged with my classes all day long with the computer. Make sure you understand have your schedule out in front of you, right? Have all your materials, your notebooks and pencils ready to go. And your teachers that first week, they're gonna have some fun with you, right? They're gonna want to get to know you. They're gonna want to do some fun activities with you, okay? But they're also going to be kind of laying down some, ground rules for how things are going to be conducted in their classroom. And it's going to be important that you're paying attention to that, and and get yourself off to a good start. And that's really the key. To me, the most important part of this year is right now, getting off to a good start, because hopefully we will be back in the building, and we don't want people behind. We want people ready to go because they've done their job. Even though it's in a virtual environment, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they'll be prepared. Okay. With that being said, the reason that one of the big things that we have Dr. Reinheimer with us right now is she's obviously worked with the students last year. Okay. And she obviously spent time with them from March until, the end, middle of June. What were some things that you saw last year that were some things that kids did that maybe they want to avoid? Okay. Some things that we want to make sure that they don't put themselves in those types of situations. And what are some things they did that they did a nice job with, just kind of to prepare them for the 8th grade, because you've been here before and you know what's coming, and then what you saw them do last year.
Okay, thank you. One of the big things that I heard from teachers One of the big things that I've heard from students themselves who contacted me was confusion and concern about getting stuff done that was in their Google Classroom. This year we're using Canvas, but last year we used Google Classroom. And one of the things was not reading the assignment, not reading it all the way through and making sure you understand the assignment, and not doing all of the parts of the assignment. And if there was an accompanying video, we didn't watch the videos. I know the math department put out a lot of videos. Day 1 was how to do it, and day 2 was reviewing it. And we didn't do that. Those of you who were not successful, you didn't do those both parts. So, you know, one thing that I want to make sure that we get off on the right foot here is that Canvas is going to house everything that you're going to need, including access to your teacher live. And it is of your best interest to read thoroughly everything, to ask questions, to utilize those office hours, and to make sure that you are really understanding what is asked of you, and make sure that the teacher is aware if you are having problems. When should your teacher be aware that you're having problems? 3 weeks later? No. That day, the next day, make sure you're contacting them and letting them know, because the 8th grade teachers care very deeply about your success. They want to make sure that you are prepared for high school. They want to make sure that you have a successful year. They work very hard, they care very much, and they are very consistent with their expectations. So you can guarantee that if Mr. Parcia tells you not to be late for class, then he doesn't want you to be late for class, and he's going to hold you accountable every time. If another teacher is asking you to turn in an assignment by 11:59 on Thursday nights, I can guarantee you that those assignments better be in by 11:59 on Thursday nights. And to get yourself into a schedule will make sure that you are successful. Some of the things that we did really well, I mean, kids did do those things. They were in contact. They did attend office hours. Was a huge, huge deal for the kids that were struggling to ask a teacher for time in office hours. And they went, and it cleared up everything. And the thing that I think is going to help out a lot this year is that you are going to go through your course of your day. You are going to see your teacher. You are going to be able to ask questions right away. You are going to be able to hear what the directions are, read what the directions are, see what the directions are, and be a little bit more comfortable with some of the assignments. I know some of you really liked this online learning. Some of you thrived in it. You loved it. It was right up your alley. Some of you struggled with it. But day 1, getting on a schedule, getting out of bed, making sure that you're ready to go, having a place wherever that is in your house is going to be your best bet here for success. Because we are going to eventually come back into the building, and we want to continue the learning. We're not going to backtrack. We're going to continue as we go, so that by June we are ready to move on to high school. And if you're not ready, I don't think you're going to move on to high school. So we're going to make sure that we are doing our job.
And just to mention something from a teacher's perspective, based off what you said, when they return, you know, as you get into higher level grades, a lot of material builds. So if you want to be able to learn something in December, January, you better understand the stuff in September. I mean, I can speak on behalf of the science department and challenge science. Oh, it's going to build. So if you don't understand something in September, more than likely you're not going to really understand it in January, and then you just keep digging a hole. That's why we're imploring you to speak up, talk to us. Again, we have to be tough on you because we want to do what's best for you, for your education, and get you ready for high school. We all care, obviously. But, you know, if you give us feedback, I mean, no doubt, this is new for us. We're a little nervous about teaching online too. This is new for us, but we want to do a good job. So please speak up. You know, make little checklists, what you get and what you don't get. We'll help you. You know, it's up to you. I mean, please, for your own good, because the end result is getting ready for high school. So great point, Dr. Reinheimer. Absolutely.
And one of the things we always, when we open up, whoops, sorry, I didn't. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I want to be clear that I'm not talking to the student who misses one assignment. I'm not talking to the student who has a doctor's appointment and has to miss class, or is sick for 2 days and misses class. I'm talking to the students that last year walked a very close line to doing virtually nothing, did not ask questions, did not turn anything in. Those are the students that I'm talking to. This is real school. This is a real beginning, and when we come back into the building, we are going to continue moving forward. And I want to make sure that you understand that you have to do your job. You have to come to class. You have to do that. Everybody's going to have a rough day. Everybody's going to get sick. Everybody's going to have to go to a doctor's appointment. Everybody's going to miss an assignment. Everybody's going to one day go like this. I can't take it anymore. I need a break. That's fine. We're going to work on that and move forward. But those of you who chose to ignore virtual learning, you cannot ignore it anymore. Okay.
Well, I appreciate you doing that, just because, like we said, there's so many subjects here that are cumulative in nature. The mathematics curriculum, the world language curriculum, the science, in many ways, is cumulative. There are aspects of it that are, and if you do nothing, and you think you're gonna be able to just do nothing and it's gonna go away, that would be highly problematic. And I have no problems saying this. I won't sign off on a kid going to high school if they really haven't done anything in 8th grade. I mean, it's really an important year to make sure you're prepared to go to 9th grade and get your high school career started, and that's where everything counts, and that's an important time. So that's our job, is to get you ready. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I really am. I wish the kids were here. The coolest thing I saw the other day, just so is a sense of normalcy. I saw school buses driving around on my way to work, and it was like, that was, to me, that was the coolest thing. And we do wish that the kids would be coming back, and we hope that at some point in time, they're going to be coming back into the building. But we'll do the best that we can for everybody right now. Okay.
It's a new challenge, and it's a little nerve-wracking, but it's exciting too. On another end, because we're learning a whole new way to teach and learn and everything else. So hey, it's life.
Yep, that's it.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add?
I think we're good.
Okay. All right. We hope you found this video helpful. And again, we're going to try to continue to feed you information piece by piece to keep families, you guys out there, informed, because once again, the premise of these videos in this channel, these shows, is to keep you guys informed, to make sure we're doing our best to put your child in a position to be successful. All right. So with that being said, that's a wrap, and that'll do it for this edition of SIGG'S On. Thank you very much, Dr. Ronheimer and Dr. SIGG'S, and we look forward to talking to the parents, you guys, once again very soon. Have a good day.